Guys, we'll talk about the Nyquist criteria. As I told you earlier, the Nyquist criteria has two types, that is first criteria and second criteria. First criteria will implies on the open loop transfer function. The open loop transfer function that we are representing as g of s h of s is equal to so let's take some example, s plus 1 by s plus 2 into s plus 3. So in the first criteria, we are talking about n is equal to p minus z, where n is the number of encirclement around the origin, and p and z are the number of open loop poles in the right hand side, and z is the number of open loop zeros in the right hand side. So we have to be very careful while choosing it. It is number of open loop poles. Open loop, that means directly g of h of s, and z means number of open loop zeros in the right hand side of the open loop transfer function. So if you take this transfer function example, the number of open loop poles here is 0. The number of open loop zeros also 0. So the number of encirclement around the origin is 0. Now let us talk about the second criteria, where we'll take how many times it encircles about the minus 1 plus j0. As I told you, the minus 1 plus j0 we are taking as, because we are adding 1 plus g of s h of s. So we are adding 1 to the open loop transfer function, that is called characteristic equation. Here also the same thing, n is equal to p minus z, where n is the number of encirclement around minus 1 plus j0, and p is the number of, here only the number of things we have to be very careful is, p is the number of open loop poles in the right hand side, and z is the closed loop poles in the right hand side. This is the only change, the open loop poles and the closed loop poles in the right hand side. This is about the Nyquist criteria 1 and